All right, we've taken you through all the forms, how they're used, what the layout is, how to report on different parts of them, and also understanding why we left off exit intent and some other things. So now I want to take this time to kind of wrap up and look at, what are we doing with people's attention? Your average email open rate is about 50%. And your average SMS subscription rate is about 50% of people that opt in via email. So there's a high drop off on that as is. So if we have someone's intention, we're exchanging an offer for something. It's a great opportunity at that high point of intent to actually try to get to know who our customer is and understand where they're at with their customer journey and how we can assist in that, as well as understand the trends that are bringing people kind of through. So these are our same homepage. We have one for mobile, we have email and SMS, and we just have normal email. I'm still a big proponent of just email because I care more about data than I do an SMS number and a point of contact. But let's take a look. So this one has no SMS in it. So this is a multi-step form. For those of you that haven't used or set up a multi-step form, it allows you to collect data every step of the way in case someone drops off, so you still have that data. And all that data is pushed into your ESP or your Klaviyo, OmniSend, whatever you're using, and then you can use that for personalization and leverage it. So we'll take a look at a live account and show you kind of how we leverage data. But we'll run you through how these guys are created. So kind of like a PowerPoint, every step is created on itself. Coupon code is added. This coupon code though is hidden, so the user won't see that, and we'll take you through what this looks like. Um, what are you most interested in? For a lot of brands, when people come there, they when they go to make a when they go to sign up, the sign up to order um, completion happens really quick. 95% of people sign up and complete their order within 7 to 10 days, but the majority of people do it in minutes, if not hours. 75% of people convert within the first 12 hours. So when people are signing up, they are high intent customers, and we're just trying to figure out what brought them here or what made them purchase. So the first question that we always go with are, what are you most interested in? What items are you most interested in? So, for instance, our underwear brand, what type of underwear are you most interested in? Um, and then what matters most to you? This is understanding what people value in a product and what they're looking for in a product. It also allows you to understand, how you should be marketing to people. And we'll give a little bit of demo into what that looks like too, a little later. What matters most to you? What matters to you in the items that the brand sells? Oh, this is just a duplicate question. Ignore that. Um, but it allows you to get a little bit more granular. So actually, we should change this. This should be how often do you use or participate in activity? Uh, I like to ask this question, or what do you want to use? What is your intended use for product? What is your intended use for the product? Right, like that's another good question to ask. It depends on what products you're selling. These are all going to be very highly dependent on the products that you're selling. But like, say you're a fishing company, like how often do you fish? Like, how long have you been fishing? All these other questions that you can ask to figure out if somebody's going to be a good fit. If you're a golf company that's selling like beginner stuff, how often do you play? What's your handicap? It's all relevant to the customer journey for this specific business. This is a question that we ask on all of them, though. When are you looking to purchase? Today, in a few weeks, in a few months? Always like, but we always position it as when are you looking to upgrade your results with using something? Psychologically speaking, what we're trying to do is push people towards realizing that whatever we sell is going to be an upgrade to what they currently have, because your competition really is someone doing nothing. It's not another brand or something else. It's just that they have what they have, and they're not going to purchase anything. That's your largest competition. This last step here has thank you, and it's just drawing the coupon code from above so that people get to see the coupon code. But because it was done at step two, if someone drops off after the first step and just gives their email, they'll still be emailed the coupon code. They'll be able to get that in their inbox. Um, so data is kind of like the next frontier. When you have a position like this where we can ask questions at a point of intent, where someone's already opted in and already provided an email address, it allows us to actually understand what's going on in the customer journey in ways that analytics tools just can't do. They can't give us the information that we need to make that happen. And let's swap over to a live account and take a look at what that looks like. So when you switch to doing things data driven, collecting data points during a point of transaction, you get a little bit more context with what's going on. So this is a summary of the past 14 days of different subscribers, and we can understand and figure out, where some quick win opportunities are. We can look at individual questions as well. So for instance, what style do you prefer? We can see what the breakdown looks like there. We can look at the revenue driven by specific answer. We can look at the number of orders driven by specific answer and how they correlate. And we can look at overall conversion rates to see how everything's converting across the board. What matters most to you in your underwear, for instance, we can see a breakdown here of what things matter to people and in what orders, and then do they correspond with conversion rates of those guys as well? What are the conversion rates for these things? What answers are driving what degree of revenue? How many orders are coming in? And is there a deviation from what we see? So, for instance, waistband that doesn't flip is on the lower side in terms of answers, but it converts higher, which brings us to this. So then we look at things for potential opportunities that exist and try to figure out exactly how to position with this data. Potential marketing and advertising opportunities are kind of where we start as the baseline. So people that say front pouch or strategic potential marketing opportunity, they convert higher than the average. And people that use easy to use fly or potential opportunity, they convert also higher than the average. So between front pouch and easy to use fly, it seems like an ad waiting to happen and some degree of advertisement or something else that goes out to people, whether it's email or something else that shows kind of what's there. These potential email SMS opportunities are the lagging indicators, meaning that there's room for them to grow with our existing base. Like I said, timing, this is one that we use more than everything else. So a lot of people talk about intent, but they don't really know the difference between people that sign up if you don't ask them when they're looking to purchase. Everyone assumes they're looking to purchase immediately. That's never really the case. So we can look at what the breakdown is of answers here, and we can see where that gap is. So 54% of people said today, sweet, they're super high intent, but only 38% of those people converted, which means we left 60% of these people that said they were ready to go and they didn't convert. In a few days is here, but you can see there's a massive drop off between in a few days and today. So when we start collecting this data, we're able to understand the quality of the audience and the effectiveness of what our current funnel looks like in terms of getting people to convert. Now, in a few months, you wouldn't expect as many people to convert. Obviously, it's out there. By in a few weeks, you would also not expect a lot of people to convert. But in a few days and today, with a conversion rate, relative, that's too low. That means we've lost 85% of the people in this current thing. So data is pretty crazy when we add it into the forms. And now you can imagine that we have this coming in from all different types of forms, like we showed previously, the form insights. And then we can take a look at individual forms themselves, take a look at the breakdowns from those specific forms that are coming in, and understand if there's any deviation. Specifically, if we're looking on things like a landing page form where we might be advertising different things, via ads and stuff like that, then we can start locating and figuring out where there's gaps. This might be a little bit overwhelming, but that's okay because everyone starts somewhere. And data with context, I think, is the biggest thing that's missing in our industry, so to speak. When you sign up and you're using other platforms, there's no context as to what actions people took after they had that. The other thing we can do is actually break down individually and segment out. So we can build our own little cohorts of people. If I wanted to know um, people that knew about micromodal, for instance, and boxer briefs, I can go ahead and break that down and then have all the remaining answers relating to those so that we can break that down into a segment and understand how well it's performing and look for gaps again. We're not going to go deeper in this episode into how we use data and leverage it even more across UTMs, ad recommendations, and stuff like that. But that's a good high level understanding of how we combine all these different types of forms with the data to understand how we drive revenue and understand what the breakdown of that revenue is by form and the conversion rates, subscription and conversion rates by form as well.